the things we left behind. The only reason we're alive is to one day be divine. When our thoughts have been aligned, our world can be defined. The only reason we're alive is to one day be divine.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the NSC Hearthstone Spring Term Finals between Ragnaroks representing the University of Oxford and Mandarin from Heriot-Watt University. I am Coltaz and I'm joined here by a reigning NSC Hearthstone champion, Jev from Sus Execute. How are you feeling about this one, Jev?
I'm feeling good. It's a shame that obviously I couldn't be playing. We got knocked out in the semi-finals by Mandarin, unfortunately, so I'll try and contain any bad blood between us on the cast. But going into the deck lists, on the Oxford side we have Even Paladin. We've got Pirate Rogue, which is quite interesting. I've not actually seen that played in a sort of professional setting before. And we've got Mid Hunter, and they've had their Odd Mage banned by Mandarin. And on their side, they're playing Death Rattle Hunter, they're playing Quest Rogue, and they're playing Resurrection Priest, Cloning Gallery Priest, and they've had their Evenlock banned by Oxford. So some interesting bans there. What do you think of the Odd Mage ban going into this?
I mean, I was surprised by this looking at first, just because you look at Odd Mage and it's traditionally not as strong as a deck like Mid Hunter or the Pirate Rogue. But it is very aggro, and Mandarin have got this kind of anti-control lineup with the Quest Rogue and the Cloning Priest and the Death Rattle Hunter. So I think it's a close ban between these aggro decks. So I definitely see the logic behind it, but yeah, I probably would have gone for the Hunter or Rogue.
I see the logic in it that of those decks, I'd say the Odd Mage has sort of power to get out of control very fast, only probably rivaled by the Mid Hunter, but all of them have sort of burst potential that can be sort of worried about, especially even Paladin. If you leave a 1/1 up, it's going to have Blessing of Kings on it, and then you're going to be in trouble because you probably don't have the tools to deal with it as effectively as you'd like, especially with these decks. The Quest Rogue is one we faced in the semi-finals. Quite upsetting for us because we queued our Control Warrior right into the Quest Rogue, which eventually resulted in us dropping out the series. But that will be interesting to watch. Hopefully we can have some interesting games where Mandarin are trying to get their combos off, sort of rivaled by Oxford trying to get... Oh, we're in the game.
Oh, right, we're heading into game one. It's Even Paladin up against Death Rattle Hunter, and this is a pretty good queue, I think, for Mandarin, and they've got Keleseth in hand as well to start off.
Yeah, looking at this, if they can draw into one of the... Well, they don't need to worry too much about drawing to Death Rattle, because as you said, they've got Keleseth. They've got a very good hand, but the Even Paladin hand, that's very good as well. They're going to be, obviously, hero powering on one, Plated Beetle. Hopefully they... Oh, that's a pretty good draw as well.
I like the look of this Hellmaster Shaw, which would
our
personally
curse into our
I
strength.
think this could be a close one, because they're going to have to deal with this Corpse Taker, because that can get out of control really quickly.
That is something that they'll have to know is in the deck. But looking at that, they have just drawn a cube. So if they can drop the Grizzly, keep it alive, and cube it, that could be the game over by turn 5.
Yeah, and looking at that Spellbreaker top deck, it's going to be interesting to see when they decide to play that out. When you see a Grizzly, a Shore, but also a cube as well. So if you play the Silence before the cube, and then you could just get punished and the game ends immediately.
This is going to be sort of a really reactionary game. We're going to see a lot of comboing and having to drop big sort of answers to...
Yeah, I mean, both of these decks are going to look to play some pretty fat minions on curve. And as we say, if one of those sticks, could very well be the end of it. Yeah, Plated Beetle will come out here.
I'm not sure why they're considering dropping the Ooze on turn 2 when they have a Plated Beetle in hand. Maybe that's something we asked them after the game.
I mean, it's one more extra damage, but obviously you can get rid of a Candle Shot or something. Ooh, Spider Bomb's a nice draw as well there. You've got the Terrascale Stalker as well, and I'm starting to think this is looking really good for Mandarin to start off.
Yeah. I don't think that the Even Paladin has as an early game as they would have liked, but we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, with this kind of start, though, you've got to think that something like a Corpse Taker into Blessing of Kings would be needed to fight back.
If they can keep the Corpse Taker alive until turn 6 when they can drop the Spike Ridge Steed on it, maybe that's sort of what will carry them through this game. But with the Spider Bomb, it seems unlikely. But if they can build up a big board of 1/1s behind that, then perhaps they can sort of absorb it.
Yeah, they're going wide here, so there's actually a decent chance they can negate that kind of effect. They might even look to play Corpse Taker on 5 to curve into the Steed.
You can see they're thinking about dropping the Ooze now.
I'd go for it here.
There's no weapon that's come out. Yeah, it's probably a good shout.
Especially when you've got 2 4-drops, Spike Ridge Steed in hand. Ooh, double Spider Bomb.
Yeah, that might come back to hurt them if now they've drawn the Spider Bombs, because 1's good, but having 2 sitting in your hand, 6 mana to drop 2 2/2s isn't great.
Yeah, there's a lot of mana in this hand against a wide board. And this turn's going to be really interesting, because Spider Bomb feels a bit weak, but you don't really want to kind of sacrifice your Houndmaster Shore either.
I think we're a bit hasty in predicting the Death Rattle Hunters win.
I think it's going to be a close one.
Now looking at it, I think they're worried. Dropping Spider Bomb, probably a safe bet.
I mean, you've got 2 in hand, you might as well get one down.
This will be probably a True Silver. Go face. Trade the True Silver in. And yeah, it looks like they're going face and then they'll trade.
Yeah, there's some interesting options though, because you could get an uncontested Corpse Taker down. You might look to do that.
There's the bug we were talking about earlier, where the shield animation goes off twice.
Yeah, you're not getting 2 times the armor there.
No,
that's just a classic Blizzard thing.
Yeah. I also point out with the Cloning Gallery Priest game later, Vargoth is actually banned in this tournament. He came out earlier this week, but if you've been playing ladder, you'll know that he's pretty nuts, and he is banned for this tournament, so we won't be seeing any Vargoth into Eternal Servitude into triple Vargoth this weekend.
Spellstone the Vargoth, and then
you just
infinite.
never lose.
Yeah, pretty good, right?
Yeah, having infinite minions never being able to be killed is quite good, as it turns out.
I was talking to Ragnaroks yesterday, and they were mentioning that they did consider, before the ban came out, just jamming 4 Vargoth decks, and I wouldn't have blamed them.
No, that would be fair.
With stuff like Druid as well, to just gain an obscene amount of armor.
I haven't considered that. We're going to have to see after rotation what is good with Vargoth.
Sure here. This is interesting. They had a few options.
There was a coin.
Grizzly, perhaps. You could even just egg, and you have an activator and a cube in hand.
I think this turn will be the True Silver Champion. Trade the Ooze in.
Yeah.
Then you're keeping the...
keep the Divine Shield on it.
Yeah, keep the Divine Shield up on it. Not having to worry too much about anything he could do to kill it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just going to stick on board for another turn, and then we can see the Spike Ridge Steed come out. Might need to see some kind of Spider Bomb high roll or something, because this Corpse Taker is going to get annoying real quick. There's a lot of damage coming through as well, 6 per turn. And really, there's no efficient answer to this. You have defensive minions in hand, but it's all very slow against the Wind Fury Corpse Taker.
That's quite a good draw with the MC Tech, but I don't know. It depends if Oxford predict it. You'd think that they'd know that it's a possibility. It's quite often played in this deck.
Yeah, they have the deck list, so open deck list format, they'll know that they might need to be playing around it. I wonder if we see the Silence come out here. If we do, there could be a cube into something like a top deck play dead. Steed's pretty good though.
Yeah, they'll probably just play Steed, push face, damage.
Plays around the MC Tech as well.
You can see Mandarin now, they're thinking, and they're perhaps a bit upset with how this is going at the moment.
Yeah, this is looking really rough for them, because it wasn't too bad a start for them either. And even Paladin is one of the slower decks Ragnaroks are playing in a matchup they're favoured in.
What would keep them alive now is probably... How much mana have they got? They've
6
got
mana with
seven available. So it might just be an egg with Defender of Argus.
Maybe a Spider Bomb.
Well, no, they've got a Silence. So it...
Okay, they're going to taunt up the bomb here.
Well...
There's a Silence, though, so that's going to do it, right?
Silence, so that'll be lethal for Oxford going into Game 1.
Game 1, 1-0 to Ragnaroks, and they win with the Even Paladin, which was one of the weaker decks they had.
Clearly, at the start of this game, we were wrong.
I mean, it wasn't a bad hand, but it was very expensive, and this Corpse Taker just had no answer. Absolutely destroyed them there.
Yeah, as you see with the Even Paladin, if you can just get a Corpse Taker down on 4, keep it alive for a couple of turns, it's going to be pushing damage consistently every turn. You're not, and you can't deal with it, it's just, what do you do?
This must have dealt about 20 damage that game.
Yeah, I think
insane.
That was the MVP of that game.
For sure, that's what you want to do with a deck like Even Paladin.
Exactly,
just
and especially if you can get Corpse Taker, coin Corpse Taker, put the Blessing of Kings down on it. That's 7 damage, 14 damage going to the face. And
straight away, that'll end the game pretty quick.
I think it just represents how versatile it is. You can put it down sort of if you're behind and you're going to be gaining health off of it, almost how people play Ziliax sometimes, but you can play it offensively as well and get 14 damage in on turn 5. So
right, we see it in these decks like we've seen it in Quest Rogue even before. Mandarin not playing it today, they weren't huge fans of that kind of tech, but it's definitely a card that you can play in all kinds of decks because you just have so much utility.
Going into the second game, what do you think Oxford will be playing now that they've got their Even Paladin game?
I mean, Mid Hunter and Pirate Rogue left. These are two very strong decks against the lineup.
I think we'll probably be seeing Mid Hunter coming into this just due to the fact that Pirate Rogue's sort of the more untested deck.
I think if you want to win on the board, but here we go.
They've picked their Rogue. So
this is a very good matchup for them, though. You've got saps to get rid of cubes and stuff like that. What do you keep from this hand, though? I'm not sure you keep anything here. It's not ideal.
No, it's not. You want to be getting early board to sort of... So the egg will come down on 3. But if you have a board already, what can they do to stop that?
Yeah, you want something like Hench Clan Thug Raiding Party to really draw through your deck, get some big swing turns going, and this rogue hand isn't doing
any 1-drops you have.
You could play something like a South Sea deckhand down, but honestly, the thing with this deck is you've seen people cutting stuff like Firefly, and you don't really need 1-drops a lot of the time, just because the Raiding Party swings are so powerful with a free Dread Corsair and a green skin and stuff like that.
Looking at this hand, I'm not convinced it's great for them.
It's not the greatest for the rogue.
Oh, no, they've drawn a Hench Clan Thug.
Okay.
It's been saved.
Pretty sweet, but we have Spider Bomb, Egg, Grizzly. If you could choose your cards, I'd go for something like that for Mandarin. Candle Shot, of course, as well, is really good, especially with something like a Flanking Strike, if we see that come out to test a Thug, or maybe a Coin Edwin coming down here.
The hand is so 3-drop heavy, this turn will probably just be Hero Power and pass, I would assume.
Wait
get
for
ready
the
for
Thug, you think?
Yeah, get the Hench Clan Thug down.
Yeah, if you play this Edwin, it's going to get slapped straight away by a Spider Bomb, which is not ideal.
Anything they play is going to get slapped by the Spider Bomb, unfortunately. So
yeah, it's a good point. But that's the problem with this Pirate Rogue deck a lot of the time, is when you're just running so many powerful cards on 3, you get hands like this where you just get stuck. with too much mana to play for an aggro deck, and that's where drawing stuff like Prep Raiding Party really comes in.
Yeah, they're really thinking about what they want to play here. You can see them talking in the top right. They're really considering it, but as mentioned, they're just going straight into the Hero Power and Pass. Probably going to get the Hench Clan Thug down.
Normally when you have something like a Hench Clan Thug and you've got Edwin and SI7 with the combo cards, you often just go for Dagger here, look to get a bigger Edwin later, a more effective SI, but at the same time curving 3-drops is not a bad idea. Ooh, interesting decision here. Terrascale Stalker gives you some extra board control. Double Grizzly's really nice as well though, sure, not a bad choice either.
No saps in hand for the Rogue, so there's no immediate clear unless they want to expend a lot of resources, perhaps Deadly Poison, Eviscerate.
Could see something like Deadly Poison, Coin, Edwin. We'll probably see the Thug come out here though. Deckhand drawn as well, and you see the possibility for some swing turns here. Coin, 1-drop, some combo cards.
Yeah, it's looking a bit better. Obviously you'd like to see those cards at the start of the game, but it's just about using what you have in hand now.
Just try and find a way to get through these turns as effectively as possible. I think this is going to be the Edwin play with the Deadly Poison coming out.
Yeah.
6/6 on board.
The question going into turn 4 for Manduin is, are they going to play dead on the Spider Bomb to clear that immediately, or wait until they can run the Spider Bomb into the
Could just do
Edwin.
something slow like play an egg here. They're not under too much pressure yet. But you saw the surprise from Jernemi, Manduin's captain, when that Edwin came out. He was probably expecting something like the Thug instead. But he won't be too sad about this. He's got a good hand to deal with it.
Yeah, I think by just hero powering and passing on 2, they gave them some options depending on what was played on 3. By Manduin, they just sort of sat back and said, let's have you guys play and then we'll react to that. Because they have options. The problem is they can only do one of those options sort of every turn.
Okay, the play dead comes out here. I thought they might go for this. You can get the preemptive bump here. There is an Eviscerate in hand and an SI though, so this is probably just going to get cleared.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of the
Ooh, sap as well.
of using the play dead on the egg, because I feel as if that can be removed very easily by Oxford. There's no need. You can just sort of let it sit back and be a threat going into sort of turn 5.
I like something like a deckhand Thug here would be a really powerful swing on board. And as you say, they kind of go for the slower play because they've got a good hand to deal with it. But the problem is, as you say, stuff like sap, lots of single target removal with an Eviscerate as well, is going to punish them here.
But now if they remove, and I think they are going to remove the
Devil Saw there.
yeah, the Devil Saw.
Look at this board now.
The board now, if they drop Spider Bomb, they're going to have to wait a turn.
Yeah,
and
they burned the play dead as well. Oh, there's another one.
There's another one. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Never
Game
punished,
saved.
perhaps? Oh, okay.
Okay.
Looks like they're still going to contest on board, but the damage coming through here from the Rogue is going to be huge.
Yeah, the damage coming through, that's 10 damage.
They're straight up racing them, though. There's, 10 on board. That Thug's going to get buffed. Shadowblade Abyss in hand. Oh, this is going to come down to the wire, I think.
This will be close.
Because the thing is, if you leave these 5/5s up, they can lethal you pretty quick as well.
I'm thinking that Oxford's going to empty their hand, and that'll lead into a Grizzly. But that can just get sapped straight back.
Could see a sap come out here, though, and then the Grizzly will have to be cleared on board. That's the issue.
I think that Oxford know that, however, and they're going to be holding it for these big sort of death rattle minions.
There are a lot of good options here for Oxford. It's not something they need to go for. Something like a Shadowblade Abyss, maybe?
They're thinking about it, but they have a lot of good options.
It's a little awkward, though, because obviously Novice can't cleanly deal with a 5/5. The raiding party here is very slow, doesn't have a prep on it. As we said, there's problems with the sap. It's not an easy turn to navigate here. Shadowblade coming out. Let's see if they go double face here after trading into the Stalker. Oh, there's the sap. And that's what, a 3/9 Grizzly going to come out, and that could swing this.
Yeah, they can trade the Devil Saw into either the Edwin or the Hench Clan. That'll be their choice, but now I think this is where the comeback might come in for Manduin. If it's going to come in, it's going to come in now.
And really, you've got to feel like Manduin have to win this game because the last deck is Midhunter, and I don't really feel like reverse sweeping the best deck in the game, Jeff.
Yeah, especially with your lineup, it's not perhaps the most optimized to deal with it.
Yeah, stuff like Quest Rogue and the Cloning Priest.
Yeah, with Quest Rogue, you want to sort of sit back and be left to your own game, but obviously Midhunter won't allow for that.
Deckhand could combo into the raiding party here. There is a clear for this Grizzly. And the hand from Manduin is starting to run dry here.
Yeah, I think they put too much stock in their Devil Saws. They really thought that this would be it, but Oxford have cleared them quite well.
It's a pretty risky play going for the Devil Saws instead of just the Spider Bomb to
Yeah,
clear
now
off these big threats.
if you've had the 2 play deads in hand, or had you been using them differently, you'd be dropping the Spider Bomb, play deading it again, and
At that point,
Oxford would have nothing.
yeah, at that point, this damage just doesn't come through. Alright, let's see if they get a Dread Corsair here. Yep, probably going to see that come out. Oh, they can actually do this here to keep the Edwin on full health. And right now, there's no answer for it.
They're going to have to draw another Terror Scale.
Terror Scale, I think they might have to, yeah. Cube. I don't think there's any way out here, is there, with 7 mana?
Not that I can see.
Oh, actually, you can sure Spider Bomb to get rid of this.
That is a good point.
Problem is, you're still on 7 health.
There's nothing that does enough, unfortunately.
I don't think so. They're going to need
Manduin.
something like another Grizzly, probably, to start to swing this back.
Yeah.
When you've got Shadow Blade, Greenskin SI. Oh, that's it, is it? Yeah.
That'll be it. That'll be it.
2-0 to Ragnaroks, and they've only got a Midhunter. One
just-
win needed out of
Yeah,
3 games to end the set.
but it's you can see in these sort of very fast-paced games where in the very middle of the game, like clear decision making, it will make or break the game. You'll get your win or you'll get your loss. But going forward, now that Oxford just have the Midhunter to win with, I don't see how they lose now.
It's going to be really rough for Manduin coming out here.
I'd like to see the start of a reverse sweep from Manduin. It would be nice, but maybe this is sort of. I spoke to the players at the start before the game started, and Manduin, they said it felt like they were going into an exam. There were some nerves there. Perhaps that is what's getting to them. Maybe they're misjudging their plays, misjudging what they should be doing.
Especially when you're in an unfavoured lineup like this and your back's really against the wall going into it. And of course, this is like these players' first LAN finals.
Yeah.
This is the biggest set they're going to play. We've got medals on the line. We've got all the prizes. You've got a medal. You know how cool they are.
Yeah, they're very high quality. I can attest to that.
One of the
Very
only
nice.
Hearthstone players in the world, most likely, to have a medal.
Exactly.
Honestly. You don't see them
From
too often.
NSC finals, one of 3 owners of the medal. It's nice to have. You want to put it in your cabinet at home.
Exactly, and it's actually a rematch of Newell finals from last term. Manduin won there. Have the head-to-head
actually,
advantage.
having a look at the hand for the priest, I think you keep the Massisteria, you keep the Ziliax.
I quite like that. Interesting they throw the Master's Call there. I know a lot of people who just advocate for keeping that in every matchup. How do you feel about that one?
Master's Call, in my opinion at least, is like keeping a tracking. If you get a tracking back after mulligansing, it's fine, but you'd prefer to have another one of your 1-drops.
Ideally you want to curve out, but a lot of the time it's just very reliable to draw 3 beasts
Now the
and
question
just stop
here,
from there.
I don't think they do, but you can Timberwolf into Crackling Razor more.
Personally, I think I might here, because you're going up against the Cloning Priest. There's not too much of a removal for it early
There's
on.
not a lot going on in your hand.
Yeah, that's the thing as well, and you want to start getting the damage down early here, especially with this hand from the Midhunter.
Yeah. Okay, they are going to do that. That's of one of the 2 plays you could have done, it's one of them. So, okay,
It's got to curve out, This is how you got to do it. Get the Razor Maw down here, start getting the damage going, and they're going to need to against this Ziliax Massisteria hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing about Manduin is they're actually down a player. They've only got 2 of their
Yeah.
3-man team, so that's not going to
They'll
help
be
them
missing some vital insight into how they're meant to be playing this. I think on this choice you go Divine Shield.
Yeah, I think I'd take that as well.
Yeah.
Health is pretty similar as an option, honestly.
Yeah. The problem is Divine Shield would keep it alive. Well, it might not keep it alive for a Massisteria. It all depends.
Yeah, it's Massive
this
is a card.
this is good.
Rough.
This is good for Manduin going into it.
Yeah,
Plus, all of the spells should be able to cast. Well, I don't know if this will stay alive.
I think they're just going to have to Hunter's Mark this, but it's not ideal. You can get rid of it without having to get rid of your Razor Ball, but you're not really playing a minion and curving out.
If they do Hunter's Mark it gives the option of Dire Frenzying one of the two.
Yeah, I definitely like the look of that next turn going into the Tundra Rhinos. You've got a decent curve for the next couple of turns.
So, what are the... Okay, they're
taking a long think about this.
They're taking their time. You can see they're really considering what they do have in hand and what they want to be doing going into the future.
The thing with Hunter's Mark is it's really good later on against stuff like
that's the thing, you're going to have
Malygos, right?
You're going to have Resurrected Malygos. You're going to have to deal with if you get to that point in the game, and if you can't, you will just lose.
And honestly, with this Rhino hand, you can consider taking a slower approach to this matchup and trying to combo these Rhinos with something like a Hyena to get a lot of burst damage in later on.
Okay, so they are going to use the Hunter's Mark on that. That's but maybe that leads into a faster play that they want to do. They want to clear anything that they can play and get this game done with.
It definitely makes a lot of sense. I mean, just play your cards as we said. You've got a few good options for the next couple of turns. And yeah, they just want to go for the quick 3-0 here. Let's see if they can get it done. Don't really have any options here either. They'll probably just Shadow Visions here, look for some more removal.
Yeah.
Oh, Holy Smite, that's huge here. Get rid of 4 damage, I'd take that. Problem is, Cloning Gallery is a good option as well.
Okay, so they are just going to take Holy Smite here. But that's 2 more spells to upgrade the spell stone.
That's very true. Companion versus Dire Frenzy. I think I'd play the Frenzy.
See, I would lean more towards the Animal Companion, if only because you might want to be dropping the Dire Frenzy on stuff like the Tundra Rhino. So going into the rest of the game, you can drop these 5/5s. These 5-mana minions that have had their damage buffed with charge. So you can really sort of push more face damage.
It's an interesting option because in a slower matchup like this, you can definitely afford to go for the Rhino Frenzy route. But at the same time, Timberwolf is a good minion to draw with the Rhinos in hand.
Yeah, you're right. If you draw them later on, you can be dropping sort of these 1-cost minions with high damage that are going to be buffing the other ones, and you can lead to this sort of 8-mana combo, sort of 5-attack minions.
I mean, 1 mana 4/4s coming out with the Tundra Rhino buffs as well. It's pretty sweet. Looks like they're going to go for the Companion here. Let's see what they get.
A Leok.
Not ideal. I wanted the Huffer there.
That's a bit too slow, I think.
Only getting 1 damage this turn down, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably see, what do you think, Coin Ziliax maybe? Could just pass.
I don't think there's any good play here, really. You can
have
Ziliax, but it'll lose its Divine Shield to the Timberwolf, then it will trade with Leok.
It gets traded pretty easily on board, and they're going to have to think about how these Mass Hysteria clears are going to work out.
Okay, so we're going to see the Ziliax come down, trade with the Timberwolf.
Does heal you, which is pretty nice as well.
Yeah. You're not pressured anymore. That's a good draw.
Could you see the Rhino come out as well? Couple options here. And there's no real answer in the Priest hand either, because a Mass Hysteria isn't going to clear off everything.
No. It's a good thing that they didn't choose the Mass Hysteria when they played the Shadow Visions, thinking about it now.
Yeah,
if only because they'd have no targets, they wouldn't be clearing anything.
Yeah, but if this Rhino does stick, which it looks like it will, Holy Smite there, it's still not enough to clear the whole board.
That will be a problem, especially if they get the Dire Frenzy down on it. And you can see they're thinking about it. That's what they're going to be doing
immediately looking at it, yeah.
I don't think there's another option for them.
Yeah, you don't really want to use double Rhinos straight away, do you? If you get that cleared, you lose all your damage. Could see something like a Spirit Lash or a Holy Smite come out here just to get rid of the Leok.
Yeah.
I think we're going to need to see something like a Psychic Scream in the next couple of turns, though.
Okay, it's just going to be a heal,
just a
face, and pass.
Okay.
Not a great... not what you probably want to be drawing.
Man, if we do see this Frenzy come out here, things are going to get really rough.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, how do you deal with this? It's 6-8. You have no Hysteria clear. Even if you scream, they're still in deck and they're going to keep coming back.
They have to draw something now.
Okay, Grizzly going for the more anti-aggro build. They can play it out.
Yep, they're going to Holy Smite the Leok. Get rid of that.
Yeah.
So that's 5-8 now.
Probably see something like a flanking strike come
Oh
down
dear.
here. Ooh, Hyena's nice too.
This all might start getting rough for them now.
It could get out of hand pretty quickly.
Yeah.
There is a res available for the Grizzly. Still a Mass Hysteria, which could end up clearing the boards. Ragnarok, sorry, going to have to be very careful about this one and how they play around that.
Yeah. I think this will be the swing turn where we see sort of in the last game where they had the option of the Spider Bomb or the Devil Swords. This will be the swing turn of this game where they either play correctly and they can stabilize as the priest, or it gets out of hand for them and they just can't deal with it.
Yeah, it might be really hard to deal with it though, even with best play. The thing is, there isn't a particularly clean clear for this Witchwood Grizzly. Probably going to have to bump the Rhino in.
That's the thing. If they have to be expecting a Mass Hysteria. If you've played Priest recently, you know they're always going to have Mass Hysteria in hand. But yeah, it looks like they're going to be...
Might trade with a Hyena here as well. Or if they go for this one.
If you look at the play now, it's going to be
Hysteria Lash, right?
Yeah, Hysteria Spirit Lash. That's.
I mean, they played around Hysteria, but second Spirit Lash is going to come in and punish them here. You see the Lich King, Cloning Gallery Priest. Like you said, this could be the big swing turn here.
This is where it's going to sort of come back for Manduin, and this is what I'm hoping will be the start of a reverse sweep for them.
Try and get some more games in here. Get a bit more of a series on our hands. Whoa! Okay, they have the Ziliax. The Ziliax is nice here. They've still got a lot of health. They can afford to go for this.
Yeah, I really like this as well, actually.
This works out, yeah.
With the Elemental up as well.
Yeah, you can get Cloning Gallery next turn.
Get Cloning Gallery
out
on turn 8. This is going
Zero mana Mind Blast potentially. Yeah, I think this is going to be enough, honestly, because this double kill Command Rhino hand, when the Priest is on 17 with these taunts up, it's not really going to be enough. But we've got to remember, there's still 3 Dire Frenzied Rhinos in deck.
The problem is, if they are allowed to heal up, they won't have enough. They've used everything. They've sort of tried to build towards that game-ending board, but it's been turned around now, and they've got to do it again with the Priest having the tools in hand to deal with it in the late game.
Yeah, the problem is
they've still got 2 Psychic Screams.
Yeah, that's very true. The Priest might just come out with a pretty fast OTK as well. You've always got to be wary of that, so it's not like they have to really play a very long game here necessarily. We'll see.
So they're going to go and clear the Witchwood.
This can't feel good, though.
No, this is... I think this might be it. I think this might be the swing turn.
Probably just going to see the Cloning Gallery come out here. There's a nice, easy clear happening.
Yep.
Could even just play an uncontested Lich King, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many good options now. Yeah, they've got...
Oh, look at that. They've got Lyra, Felon. 20 damage Mind Blast.
Yeah,
oh my god.
I think this is what we were talking about.
Do we go for the BM Spirit Lash here? Get some coins down.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be enough.
That's going to do it. No Rexar or Unleash top deck to get rid of this. And finally, a win on the board for Manduin. Might be settling those nerves and getting back into this set.
Yeah, I think they're going to be feeling good about this. And hopefully, yeah, as we said, hopefully this is the return of Manduin in this set. They're going to start off, they're going to go 1-2. Well, yeah, I can't see, there's no way out of this.
Nah, this is just going to be it. You can't clear all this off. There's a Lich King to follow up as well. So much spell damage, Lyra. Cloning Gallery here was really just insane because you can see they're playing the Gilded Gargoyle version. You get a lot more minions off the Cloning Gallery.
Yeah, they kept all of the combo pieces in their deck as well. They hadn't drawn any.
Yeah, very true. And even though they are playing this anti-control lineup on the side of Manduin, you can see they text for aggro with the Cloning Priest, with the Grizzlies and the Gargoyles instead of the kind of 4 minion version we've seen come out more recently on ladder. They're just going to play their cards here, just play it out, but it's not going to be much longer here.
Oh, they
Probably
have
just
drawn the
jam the
second
Lich
Master
King
Stereo.
down. Devour Mine. Let's see what they get.
Is that going to be enough?
With the candle shot? Don't think
No.
it's lethal quite yet, but
Okay.
double coin into Lich King, I think, could come out here.
I don't know if it matters, but
With the Lich King down, I really don't think it does. Surely there's
Yeah.
no way of clearing all their stuff.
unless they draw Rexar,
Even then, you're on what? 10?
yeah.
Oh, anti-magic shell, yeah, there you go. Rexar's not on out
Dire
anymore.
Frenzy. No, that won't be enough. That will be game
To
3.
Manduin,
Yep, they're going to concede that. It's going to be game 3 going to Manduin. So now that we have eliminated the
Cloning Priest.
Cloning Priest, they have Quest Rogue and Death Rattle Hunter.
Gotta think they'll probably run the Death Rattle Hunter in now because the Quest Rogue's going to be the really tough one to get the win with. Want to try and make this set as close as you can, get a foothold in it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, as we mentioned earlier, Manduin have the head-to-head record. They have the null finals win from Winter against Ragnaroks, and
Yeah.
when you start losing after going 2-0 up in a set, that kind of thing can really get to you.
Yeah, I remember when we were playing last term, we were 2-0 up, and then we lost our third game, and we actually got quite nervous, even though we were still winning. We were like, oh no, this is where it happens. This is where we start sliding down backwards. But but thankfully that didn't happen, so will this be a repeat of last term? But looking at the hand for Oxford, it is quite strong.
Yeah, I like the look of this. Diamol to start, might keep the Masters cool as well.
Yeah, I think with the early game hand that you've got already, you can afford to keep the Masters cool. You don't have to worry too heavily about not playing anything into Masters cool.
Yeah, exactly.
You could even keep the flanking strike if you see on the side of Manduin they have the Elven Minstrel.
It's
They
an
can just-
option, but I quite like just getting down as many proactive plays as possible from the side of the
Yeah, I
Hunter.
mean, I wouldn't have any issues keeping this hand. I think they'll throw back, the flanking strike.
There you go. Okay,
Looking
Shadow
at-
Step fan, though.
Yeah, looking at the hand of Manduin, they don't have anything. Oh,
Sonya Shadow Step,
yeah.
and
that
this
could-
set could turn on a dime right now.
Yeah, that has huge combo potential going forward. It could be quite.
Yeah, this is what Manduin really need if they draw something like a Deckhand or a Scale Hide to get back
Yeah,
in this set and
this
take it to
could-
Game 5.
This could be good.
And you know, like we were saying earlier, Ragnaroks, they've got top 3 in every single tournament this whole year. It's absolutely insane record, but they're still yet to win one. And I've
they've-
had a bit of a second place curse in the past myself, and that kind of thing when you're playing in finals, especially on LAN, can really start to
Yeah,
bother you.
you can see sort of like the thought that they really put into the game, but they just need to convert it into a finals win.
Yeah, that consistency is so impressive, but you really want to round out the year, with a win and with revenge against Manduin.
Yeah, every tournament they're at the top, but hopefully this will be the one that they take over the line.
You want the medals, though. You want the big prizes and the pride, finally getting that victory on the board.
Okay, so
Looks like a Coin Master's call, maybe?
not a bad play. You have a really strong hand going into turns 3.
Double
turns
Spring
4.
Paws can run right into Fan of Knives, which would be an issue.
Yeah, I think that they'll probably just want to build. That's a good draw.
Yeah,
That's
this
a good
is
draw.
nice.
That's a good draw. Yeah, every
That's the
single
power of Master's Call. Oh
Every
my god.
Oh,
We have Scale Hide, Sonya, and Shadow Step in hand. And heads up play here, they're getting rid of the Mole because they see the Master's Call, they know the Razor Maul can come down next turn.
yeah.
And
I mean,
honestly, this hasn't been too fast a start for Ragnaroks here.
yeah, I mean, now it's
I mean, you could go for something like a Spring Paw Razor Maul to try and get some power on board. But, I mean, is it going to be fast enough? They do have a nice curve with stuff like Dire Frenzy, Tundra Rhino, High Main, but it's going to be rough if they run straight into a completed quest with a Scale Hide. You can see Ragnaroks really taking their time here. When you've got these massive hands on turn 3, there's a lot to think about.
yeah. I'm thinking about the Elven Minstrel in hand for Manduin, and how do they activate that going into turn 4.
They could look to play it perhaps on 5, but maybe they just try and rush the quest with Sonya here. I'd probably look to do that.
No
great.
great. I mean, Divine Shield would be better on another, not a 1-1. But going into turn 4, they can Dire Frenzy it, so you have a 4-4 with Divine Shield. That's quite strong.
Okay, Brewmaster as well. I think they want to get started on this quest here. Maybe go for a Sonya Shadow Step.
Yeah.
Could even just play a Scale Hide and bounce it, but I think you want to get 1 mana Sonya, try and get this quest on ASAP. And through that, you can really just swing a game straight away.
Yeah, if they get the Sonya Shadow Step in, they can be dropping sort of Scale Hides. Next turn, they can drop 3. No, 4.
4 on turn 5, and then you can complete the quest on 6.
Yeah. Obviously, they probably want to keep the Scale Hide in hand for the quest, because at that point you don't lose.
Once you've got the 4/4 Scale Hide up,
yeah, you just won't lose.
With the bounce in hand as well with the Brewmaster.
You'll be gaining health at such a rapid rate.
Looks like they're going to go for the other option here with probably Scale Hide Brew. Oh, they're just going to Shadow Step this, and then you can Sonya next turn.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the potential of Sonya and Shadow Step was really strong.
They've kind of gone for a middling play here. I think they probably still complete the quest at the same time, right? You can get 3 Scale Hides out next turn, still complete the quest on 6. So, you know, Mandarin, they're Quest Rogue specialists. They've been playing it all tournament, and you can see here they've managed to get rid of some damage and still get a quest done on time.
I won't think too much about... I personally, I don't have much experience with Quest Rogue. It's sort of one of the decks that I didn't play when it sort of came out. But hopefully we can see some interesting plays out of it, because it is, once it gets going, it's a good deck to watch, I think.
Vanish as well is really strong.
Vanish will be strong.
Especially against something like a high main, which could come down soon.
Yeah, if they start dropping the Rhino, that's going to go back to their hand on 6, and then they drop the high main. But by that point, it might be too late.
Yeah, the question is, with a Tundra Rhino coming out next turn, very possibly.
The only issue here is if they want to Scalebane, they're going to be dropping a Scalebane into nothing. They're going to have to bounce it. They can't attack it in. So they can't be gaining health off of it. But it's a way to complete the quest faster. So
yeah, might need something like a prep, though, to really get a big swing turn next turn.
Yeah, you don't want to be vanishing on... just vanish into nothing on board. Okay, so they're going to lab recruit the Scalebane. Scale Hide.
Okay. This is a better play on board, but again, might slow down the quest.
Okay.
Few options here.
If you think about how much damage the Oxford can put in next turn, though, this turn even, it's going to be 8 damage if they want to go face.
Could look to clear off with something like an Unleash, or just play a Rhino. You've got 2 in hand.
An Unleash into... Yes, Scavenging Hyena could be quite strong.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice way of clearing off some of this board, getting a big minion up.
We'll have to wait and see.
Because if you do play this Rhino here, unless you want to trade with the Razormaw as well, it's not going to stick for next turn. It's been really interesting to see how Mandarin have played this out, though, because we expected them to get this Sonya down a lot earlier, and we've got to see if that's going to punish them. It might.
Okay, so they're thinking about the Rhino.
Dire Frenzy an option as well.
They're thinking about wanting to put the Dire Frenzy on the Rhino, I would assume.
Very possibly, yeah.
This will be... Okay, so they're gonna...
Alright, full clear here. This is pretty good, I like this. Keep 7 damage, going face.
Yeah. But if this gets vanished... Does it matter, though? Because they've got the charges in hand, they can drop Dire Frenzy on it.
Face with the Unleash, yeah.
I don't know if...
I think this might just be too slow for Mandarin, and Oxford could be taking the win here, and the whole set.
I don't see how... Because if it gets vanished, which I'm looking at it, I think it might be the case. They can drop a Hound and then they can drop Dire Frenzy on it, and that's 4 damage going face.
They're on 9. The healing is only from a 1 damage Scale Hide right now.
I don't know how they complete the quest now.
Yeah, that's the problem when you don't go for this kind of Sonya Shadow Step play we were looking at. Is they were trying to play this on board.
If they had, yeah, that's going to be the vanish.
Yeah, but as you say, big damage can come out immediately here. Master's cool as well to draw through more of your deck next turn, maybe. How do you deal with this, though?
I don't see a way out. If they had, as we keep saying, the Sonya Shadow Step, they could keep playing.
I mean, they can go for Sonya Scale Hide next turn, look to clear off a 4-4 if that's what we see come out. But you're still going to have to use your dagger, and it's still a pretty rough spot looking at the hand of Oxford.
It's got so many big threats that can keep coming down turn after turn, and they just can't deal with it.
Yeah, it's really an uphill battle when you're playing Quest Rogue in this kind of matchup. And it's often just so rough to get the quest completed at all if you go for this kind of line. Yeah, definitely. So much charge damage coming through as well. Could even just go for something like an Unleash with a Hound and a Razor Maw.
Even though it seems, from our perspective, that it seems fairly over, they're really still thinking about it. They're really, really considering what they can do.
There's so many options here, and this could be the win in the whole series for them. There you see a Glacial Shard.
Glacial Shards, it's okay, but it's not good. I don't know if it's good enough, because
they're on 6 right now. I think they might need to heal up just to survive here.
They have to kill the Rhino, but I don't know how you do that.
Not sure if it's possible, right?
No, not from this perspective. Unless they can draw something completely insane with Engineer.
Yeah, possibly off Minstrel, just going for the Scale Hide to start.
But they don't have enough mana to play with either.
I mean, if they just go for the freeze here, that's going to be it. With the high main in hand, Hound, Razor Maw, it's absolutely stacked. Let's see if they can top deck anything.
That's not going to be it. I don't see how they survive this now.
Gonna bounce this back, but that's the end of the turn, right? And that's gonna do it.
That's gonna be it.
Oxford finally get their revenge. Finally get a University Hearthstone title. And they came in with the favoured lineup. They had the reads on what Mandarin were gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, going through this tournament, we've seen Mandarin play these decks quite a lot. I think Oxford looked at that, and they knew what they were going to bring. They brought it sort of week after week after week. But yeah, they've done it. And congratulations to Oxford for winning that.
Yeah, they've been so consistent throughout the season. It's really nice to see them finally get that win. When you come top 3 throughout the year, it's often just so heartbreaking to see second, third, that kind of thing, you know. But finally, they see the smiles on their faces. They've been waiting a long time for this victory, and they get it.
Yeah,
on land.
Congratulations to Mandarin on that.
It's unfortunate for Mandarin, but yeah, as we were saying, Ragnaroks, these kind of decks, even Paladin, the Mid-Hunter, Pirate Rogue, are standard decks for them. Mandarin decided to just play their own thing instead of trying to tech against that, and it's ended up punishing them here.
Yeah, I mean, you saw a couple of key decisions in these games which could have perhaps swung it. The Death Rattle versus the... oh god, which one was it versus?
I mean, Game 1 and Game 2, I think it was the Pirate Rogue, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was versus the
eggs and the procs.
Yeah, versus the Rogue. They could have swung it perhaps with the Spider Bombs, but unfortunately they really just tried to develop the board on it. But I don't... Obviously, looking back, that was not the right decision, but maybe from their perspective they saw something else.
I mean, it was strong on board, and you could see that's how Mandarin were trying to play the set. Took a few risks, didn't work out for them in the end, but as we say, it's an unfavoured lineup. It's a rough position, and it just wasn't enough for them.
They played what they could, but the answers weren't there. Obviously, the Res Priest, strong answers to like a good board, but
yeah, as we say, you look at Game 1 and 2, and there were some really tight decisions, some close points in those games, and you've got to think they had to win one of those, because going 2-0 down, when you're that unfavoured, it's just so hard to come back from that.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the lineup, even Paladin, I think, performed better than I would have expected.
Yeah.
It's a good deck, and a lot of people rate it very highly. But, again, it's one that sort of grinds you out. You don't realise you're losing against it until it's a bit too late when they've got the huge buffs. Or, in that game, you get lucky, drop a Corpse Taker, and just deal 20 damage to their face.
That's how you've got to do it. It worked out perfectly for them, you know.
Yeah.
Even Paladin's a specialty of theirs. Maybe not the strongest deck, but it worked out today.
Yeah. With the Pirate Rogue, going in, I was wondering how it would perform. I know a lot of people sort of playing variations of that deck. You have it with Myra's. We didn't see it in that game. You maybe play it towards more of a miracle build.
Yeah.
But with that, I think it went well for them. Clearly, they know it very well.
Yeah, these are kind of decks they've been playing a lot, and when you have comfort and you're this favoured, it's got to feel good going into it. But yeah, that's going to do it from us. Again, congratulations to Oxford finally getting their title this year. Very well deserved from them.
Yeah, I'm glad to see them win this. They've definitely done well over all the tournaments that have been running. You see them at the top every term,
Of course.
Hopefully they'll be very pleased with the medals they're about to receive.
Yeah, and hopefully
the prizes.
Hopefully we'll see them back next year as well. And Mantwin, they've been really consistent top team throughout the year as well. Well done to them for getting to land finals. It's a great experience just being here,
Yeah.
So hopefully both teams will be fairly happy with how they've done just getting here. Well done to Oxford, and that's going to do it from us. So thanks very much for watching. We've got Overwatch and Dota 2 coming up later here from Belong Nottingham at the NSE Spring Term Live Finals.
Yeah.
But that'll do it from me and from Jeff. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
See you soon.
See ya.